that's 680 WCBM.
It's 84 degrees in Sparrows Point, 85 in Pasadena, and 86 in Glen Burnie. I'm Maggie Hunter, 680 WCBM News.
It's time to listen to you, the listeners. Go to WCBM.com and vote on WCBM's latest poll. It's fun, it's fast, and let us know what you want more of on WCBM.com. Baltimore is listening.
You are about to hear the most interesting, informative, thought-provoking, opinion-leading, and funny show in America, on air and on the World Wide Web. This is the Rob Carson Show.
Oh, yes, it is, and it's already Wednesday, also known as the, the Transgender Day of Hump Visibility. There you go. Yeah, the Transgender Day of Hump Visibility is what it is. So there you go. So hump away, everybody. Welcome to the show. Please come inside, have a seat, because we've got a lot of stuff to get to. You know, the Democrat Party is trying to make the summer of 2020 all over again in 2024. I said they were going to do this. I said they were going to try to do the same stuff. And they're trying to do the same stuff. They're trying to ignite, rallies and firestorms and all of this across the nation, just like they did in 2020. In 2020, they took the death of a fentanyl addict who was passing counterfeit bills to shop owners and died of heart failure, and they made it into a giant race war. And they said that, oh, my God, it's 1968 all over again, and even though it's not even close to 1968, dear God in heaven, are you out of your minds? But they were able to convince enough idiots that, America just as racist as it was in 1863. And some people fell for it, and people did a lot of stupid crap, like they tried to tear down statues everywhere, and they got rid of Aunt Jemima and Uncle Ben. And then they got rid of the Washington Redskins, and then they got rid of the Land O'Lakes lady on the butter, which was so ungodly stupid. I mean, really, really super, super stupid. And then they burned and sacked their way across the United States, $2 billion worth of damage. They wrecked Washington, D.C. They tried to burn down St. John's Historic Church. They chased Donald Trump and his family into the bunker, and nobody was held accountable for it because it was a plan. It was a plan. It was meant to disrupt. It was meant to cause a firestorm, create a distraction, and all that. And they're trying the same thing this year with a whole lot of nonsense, and it's not working. You know why? Because Americans are pissed off. And Americans know that there is a guy in the White House right now who has no business being in there because the federal government was involved in putting him there. And since then, he has done the same to the country that the idiots did to the country in 2020. Right? And they're trying all these anti-Semitic rallies around the country, and they're trying to stir up the fire like they had in 2020 with the race riots and all that. And it's not working. You know why? Because we're not anti-Semitic. Yeah, they're not. We're not anti-Semitic. I thought you should know that. Yeah. And then the deep state is trying some of the stuff that they did in 2020. They're trying to cover up stories. All right, so, there's Hunter Biden's laptop. That was the 2020 thing. It was like Hunter Biden's laptop. It was obvious. The FBI had it more than a year before the 2020 election. Everybody knew about it. The 51 intel agents either were lying, which I'm leaning into heavily because they all work for the CIA. They all had secret security clearance and all that, FBI and all these agencies. So they knew exactly what was going on, but they signed on to that intel letter saying it was Russian disinformation. And then the story went away, and the New York Post was flushed down the toilet, and that happened, and then they're trying the same thing this year. And they were able to get away with it. They were able to get away with it if it weren't for you meddling kids. But in 2020, they were able to get away with it. They were able to cover up Hunter Biden's laptop. They were able to get on the mainstream media and say, oh, my God, Hunter Biden's laptop's Russian disinformation, even though Russian disinformation had never been heard of before, never heard of the phrase disinformation or misinformation before. But suddenly, out of nowhere, every opinion that countered the government became disinformation. And we were supposed to go, oh, yeah, disinformation. Oh, yeah. I mean, God darn it. Oh, yeah, that stuff has always been disinformation. That's a word I've never heard of before. But, yeah, sure, let's just go along with it. It's disinformation. Okay, no, I didn't. I said, well, really? When the government says that what you believe is disinformation or misinformation, it means they know you know the truth. And I was right. I was right. And they're trying it this year. They're trying to cover up something else. But unfortunately, there's no covering up the fact that Joe Biden has dementia. And honestly, to say that he doesn't, considering all of the video that's out there for the years, I mean, since he ran for president, we noticed a decline, and it became a running punchline. And SNL, they did their level best to ignore it, and Comedy Central did its level best to ignore it, while the rest of the world and we all said, well, yeah, he's got dementia. Looky there. Looky there. He's falling up the stair. He's falling off his bike, and he's misstepping all the time, and he's confusing things, and he's talking to dead people. And he needed the short stairs on Air Force One, and then he had to wear orthopedic shoes, and now he has to be walked to the helicopter on the Rose Garden behind the White House. And then the other night, he was on stage in Hollywood, and Barack Obama was there. Now, some people are debating about Barack Obama, why Barack Obama would grab Joe Biden's arm to lead him back, like he was led back to the group of G7 summit leaders a week ago. And some people are saying, well, Obama did it because he wanted to acknowledge that he knows exactly what's going on, and we're ready to replace Joe Biden at a moment's notice. And I believe that, actually. I do. And so maybe to some degree, I suppose, Barack Obama has kind of a sly way of doing things. He said he wanted to fundamentally change America, which means that you hate America at its foundation. You want to change it. And then somebody slipped a Mao Christmas ornament on the Christmas tree. And then a couple years ago, Barack Obama said that if he could pull the strings and be effectively a third-term president, he would do that from his basement in his sweats. Yeah, so he has a sly way of doing things. So him leading Joe Biden off stage, was that a signal? Oh, yeah, very well could have been. Very, very well could have been. But this time, no matter how much they try to convince us that the emperor's garments are wonderful and fabulous, and the seamstress of the emperor, Corinne Jean-Pierre, tries to tell us, oh, no, he's perfectly fine. Those are cheap fakes. Those are cheap fakes is what they are. Nobody's believing it. Nobody's believing it. This is a great piece by Jorge Bonilla from MRC TV. And I mentioned this yesterday. You do know that Joe Biden's dementia is 2024's Hunter laptop, right? And he's exactly right. But the thing is, the cat's out of the bag. Everybody knows it. Everybody knows that Joe Biden has dementia. There's no joking about it. When the world's satirists are making fun of Joe Biden's dementia, the cat's out of the bag. In 2020, the story was Hunter Biden's laptop, which the media suppressed and dismissed as Russian disinformation. Again, the word we'd never heard of before, but we were just supposed to say, oh yeah, Russian disinformation. With the help of social media, in 2024, the story is Joe Biden's painfully evident cognitive decline. I know, I just noticed this the other day. No, actually, I've been talking for about 4 years about it. There were no 51 intelligence officials, no neurologists signing on saying that his brain is perfectly fine. I'd love to see that. I would love to see a group of neurologists sign on to a letter stating that Joe Biden's brain is fine. These ex-CIA agents, they know that the media will cover their butts. John Brennan isn't apologizing. He doesn't give a crap. It's not going to affect his livelihood at all. But no letters stating the relentless stream of videos documenting Biden's decline have the hallmarks of Russian disinformation. But the media are ready, willing, and able to adopt the White House cheap fakes talking points as they try to wish this story away into the cornfield. That's a reference to the Twilight Zone. In fact, CBS's chief White House correspondent, Nancy Cordes, did a complete piece on it. I've got audio on this. And they're doing their level best, and they're making fools of themselves. They really are. And as far as I'm concerned, when you are talking to someone who's down with voting for Joe Biden, you need to say, oh, yeah, I think he needs to be the president, and run for the president, be the candidate, and his brain is perfectly fine. Everything is absolutely fine. I'm willing to play along with it.
Obama is Biden's boss. I don't think Biden knows what's happening, to be honest with you. I think that Obama is calling these shots.
Joe's got strings, no he's not free. In my control he will always be. I call the shots and I tell Joe which way he should go.
Grab his elbow.
I pull the strings on Joe and tell him what he has to do. He cannot act alone. Don't trust Joe, would you? We put Joe in beat cause we knew he'd do anything we told him to. I've been in charge from the first day. I tell Joe what to say.
Doesn't have the best rhythm.
Can't let Dementia Joe do an independent thing. Cause as I'm sure you know,
yes,
he's got my bet on a string.
Ooh. Big finish.
Like Valerie and like Michelle, we all know that Joe's not well. One day we're going to end all doubt and push Joe Biden out.
Yeah, it looks like you could. I'd be looking for some marbles at the top of the stairs when Kamala is over for the White House briefing every day. So what are these marbles? What are these marbles doing on top of the basement stairs here? Oh, nothing, Joe. Nothing at all. Go down and get those pickles like we asked you to. All right, so I've got a lot of audio coming up on this, among other things. We aren't fooled. We won't be fooled again, in the words of The Who. And here's the number if you want to talk about anything we're talking about today, 800-922-6680. This is The Rob Carson Show.